All right. Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Death Twitch, and I'm Eric Harrison. Now I'll be your drunken host this evening as we watch the longest movie I could have fucking found to do a Drunkentary for. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Woo! One of my favorite movies, and actually my favorite Tarantino movie. And that's high praise because his movies are all pretty kick ass. Um, and some people, what do you mean? Why would that be your favorite? It's the vibe and the subject matter and the acting and it actually this is probably my favorite. What's his name? That guy right there. I can't remember his name. Leonardo DiCaprio. Jesus. I think this is my favorite. He's not Jesus, by the way, but this might be my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio Jesus movie. Anyhow, we're starting off with a sloppy bang, aren't we? So you're probably going, "What the fuck, Eric? This is a horror channel." Yeah, I know, but damn it, I love this movie. And sometimes you just gotta gush over the things you love. I have done probably almost about 100 Drunkentaries, I guess, by now. There are some that I did on other channels for with other people that have now like deleted theirs. So can't win them all. Can't quite reach that 100 when people keep deleting their videos with me. Anyway, but so my point being, I've done a lot of horror once in a while, like we did Dazed and Confused like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't even remember now how long it's been. And now we're doing another non-horror, one of my favorites, but a long-ass movie. However, I do feel I have what it takes to keep you entertained and informed for 2.5 hours. I know a shitload about the subject matter, so prepare to learn more than you ever wanted to know about the Manson family and Sharon Tate. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. And I'll talk about the movie and these characters whom I love and the music, which is kick ass. And this picture of this guy's mouth is a very funny way to open. I know the story behind this. I've heard Quentin tell it about Lee Van Cleef, I guess, had like a mural of himself outside of his house. So he thought that was funny and decided to copy it. But if you don't know that bit of history, then you're just like, what a strange shot of a mouth. All right, so I've opened my beer, but I haven't drank it. Let's go ahead and raise our beers to Quentin and to this movie, and to Drunkentaries in general. Let's get drunk. Okay, so disclaimer. You can probably already hear like that. I've got my windows open. You can hear cars going by outside and stuff. I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, you can hear my family yelling in other rooms, probably. Ugh. It's like, hey, Eric's recording and let's go yell throughout the house some more. Um, yeah. So anyway, it's extremely hot here, even though it's like apparently freezing everywhere else in the country where I live. It's unseasonably warm. It's like literally it's hot like a summer fucking day outside right now in the middle of January or February, where it's February. It's like Groundhog's Day, I think, today. So it's weird. And so I have my windows open to try to keep me from completely burning up. I could have the fan on, but then there would just be constant fan noise in the back, and I think that would be annoying. Just hearing a car go by or some children playing once in a while might not be so annoying. You will, however, if the ambulance or the fire truck goes by, you're definitely going to hear that. I live very close to a fireplace. I always live next to a fire station for some reason. Anything that's loud, like a train tracks or a fire station, I get to live by. Airport. It's great. It's great for recording things, audio. Yeah, it's great. Anyhow. So here's our characters. Gotta love these guys. Actually, I really do. They're cool characters. I read half of the book, the novelization, and I must say that it went into way more detail about the characters, and it kind of started to ruin them for me. Specifically, Cliff Booth, who is such a cool cat in this movie. And, they kind of expose a little bit of a shittier side of him a bit in the novelization, so I stopped reading it. I didn't want it to ruin my view of these guys. But hey, if you're interested, go ahead and give it a listen. I believe it was read. I was listening to the audiobooks, and I think it was read by Jodie Foster or some shit. Oh, and here's the iconic hoo-ah Mr. Pacino himself. Something about it, just him just showing up in this early scene really lends a lot of credence to this movie somehow. Does that make any sense? Even though he's hardly in the rest of it at all. You can hear the dogs barking, right? Fucking dogs. Ugh. My dog never barked. Anyway. But yeah, it's like something about Pacino showing up right at the beginning. It's like, yeah, this is a real flick. This is going to be a serious movie. And it's not that serious, but that's what I like about it. Like I said, the vibe. It's about these guys, and specifically this his character arc. And it's loosely about the Manson family and Sharon Tate. And we'll talk about those things as they come up. Like I said, I have a lot to say about that stuff. But for now, let's just talk about these characters. And so, yeah, it seemed like this was the movie that Tarantino trained his whole life to make, right? It's all about movies. It's about actors. It's about stuntmen, movies, directors, producers, behind the scenes. The ups and downs of an actor's career or an entertainer's career. Yeah, he trained his whole life to make this movie, and I think that's why it came out so fucking perfect. I'm doing a chef's kiss right now. Mwah! Anyhow. Yeah. Also, let's see, I'm drinking Coronas, by the way, and if you wanted to know, some people care. What are you guys drinking? And also, I've got some weed on the side for later on. When I need my fix and start to shake and get angry, I'll have to take a hit. Because I might be the only addicted person to marijuana in the whole world, apparently, according to the medical community or whoever decides that marijuana is non-addictive. Bunch of bullshit. Anyway, I can tell I'm very sloppy right now. Hopefully, as I get drunker, I won't care and just kind of like ease into the slop. You know, like when you're like buzzed and you're kind of walking through the club or the bar a little sloppy, and you just try to make it look like that's your style. I want to do that audio style. I can't even remember the last time I did a Drunkentary. Actually, was it Dazed and Confused? Was that the last? I cannot recall. It's been so long. And I'll tell you what, guys, I don't mean to go so long without doing a Drunkentary. I know the views drop on these, that it's not getting the views they used to, but it is a fun thing for me to do, and it's fun for those that still care. But every time I get, like, alcohol, I wind up getting drunk and forgetting to make a Drunkentary until I'm all wasted, and I'm like, oh, it's too late now. I'm going to make a wasted entary in which I go to sleep. But, so that's the deal. We got wasted last night, right? And today there's a few beers left, so I was like, I gotta get it done. I forgot last night. Should have did it last night. Would have been cool enough in this room. Anyway. So, yeah, let's talk about... Okay, first of all, I want to say everybody, praises Brad Pitt's performance in this. Which I just gonna have to go out on... Officially, I don't understand why you praise Brad Pitt and not Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. Brad Pitt, look, I like him, but he never emotes throughout the whole thing. He's just stone face. Look, I like him, and that fits his character. But literally, he doesn't emote at all. And here you got Leo playing like a character within a character, acting in a movie, and really acting as different characters, and acting as Rick fucking Dalton, who I want to point out, just another one of his cool little talents or acting tricks is that Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton has a stutter, and when he's just being himself, but when he's acting, Rick Dalton does not have a stutter. And think about that. That was a choice Leo made. There's layers and layers of acting going on here, and everyone's like, but Brad Pitt and his stone face, though. Yeah, I love his stone face. Is it just because it's Brad Pitt and he's handsome? Is that all that matters? You can act your ass off running circles around people as an actor, but, Brad Pitt and his stone face, though. Anyway, love them both. But I just feel like, Leo needs a little more credit in this movie. He doesn't get enough credit. And I'm not a Leo fanboy, like, by any means. I don't really care about him at all, except for in this movie. I can't even think of another movie I really care about him in, except for Critters 3. Just kidding, that movie blows. Critters 3 sucks so bad. But we're not doing a Drunkentary on that. So yeah, what's another movie where he's in that I even like him? I guess Django, right? And another Tarantino movie. I don't have anything against him, but it's just weird that everybody praises Brad Pitt's emotionless face so much in this movie. But whatever, that's fine. I like them both. I think it fits his character to be stoic, but I don't think it takes a lot of acting chops just to be stoic. Fuck, I could do that. Oh, I can't believe I started such a long movie and I'm gonna have to commit to this. Oh my god, this isn't gonna work. I'm starting to have doubts. Such a long ways to go. It's alright. We're almost 12 minutes in. We got this by the ass. Look at those extras back there pretending to eat and talk at the same time. What are they pretending to say? I wonder what that goes down as an extra back there when are you just whispering like to each other? You just going, "Hey, that guy sucks at acting. They should have put me in that role." You know that's what they're all saying. They're all talking shit about whoever the main actor is that gets all the screen time. All those extras back there. That fucking hack, he sucks. I'm so much better. I could win the Academy Award. And when I think about acting, like when I think about it, if I was to be one, if I was to be the guy that sits there and you got to sit in like a room full of extras all day long that are just back there and you know they're judging you and secretly under their breath talking shit about you, but you're just there going, "Yeah, I'm the one that got the part, so talk all the shit you want, bitches." But it must be weird, like working with people that you know have like this animosity a little bit maybe for you because they want what you have, they want your role. It's a weird thing to think about, you know. Anyway, now that we've thought about that. My family's over the. I sure hope you guys can't hear it. It's like if they know that I'm recording something, like, let's get extra loud. Be dicks. Hey, that voice that I make, isn't it stupid? Aren't you tired of hearing me go? But I'm going to continue to do it. That's my impression of everybody, and you know it because you've listened to enough Drunkentaries to know that that's how I resort to talking like other people. Like, I sound like I'm wasted already, but I swear I just opened this sucker. Maybe a little bit leftover wastedness from last night. Am I going to be able to keep this energy up for fucking 3 hours? You goddamn right I am, niggums. Oh, I love this part. Everybody loves the "don't cry in front of the Mexicans" part. Everybody loves that shit because it's hilarious. Something funny about it. And also, I heard that in a comment section, I read that they were like, when we saw this in the theater in Mexico, it was like a breaking the fourth wall joke. Like, don't cry in front of the Mexicans. And they're like, we were all Mexicans in there. What is that? Don't cry in front. They can sense weakness. They'll attack if they know. Don't show any weakness in front of the Mexicans. Now somebody's going to turn this into racism, and it's just not. It's just not. So settle down. Don't be a Karen. All right. Especially don't be a Mexican Karen. El Carino. Now they're really fuming. They're writing letters, trying to get me canceled. Look at that car. That's an awesome car. By the way, just so you know, you don't give a fuck. But when I play GTA 5, I sometimes will I play Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I find a car that looks just like that, and I get it painted up to just look like that, and I get my two characters dressed up to look like them, and call up Michael or Trevor and hang out. Drive around in our car through L.A., listening to the old music station. Okay, here we are. Introduction to the Manson family, which was mainly females. Stinky, stinky hippie females. Yep, I believe they did dig through dumpsters quite a bit. I believe that's historically accurate. I have this album. I'm not super proud of it. I got it because like when you're like at the music store, I was like 20 years ago, and you're looking through CDs, and then just suddenly you see an album by Charles Manson. You can't pass that up because it's like, how often do you just flipping through some music find something so rare or weird? You know what I mean? Novel. So I bought it, and some of the songs are catchy, some not so much. But I have that album, and I have that song of all the Manson girls singing "Always is always forever." It's a little disturbing, but I got it. You gotta have something that's rare, though. Whatever. Man, look at him puff that cigarette. It's making me a little ill. As somebody that hasn't smoked a cigarette in such a long time, just the thought of it making me a little nauseous. I feel bad for actors that have to pretend to smoke when they don't. Oh, I've heard stories where they're like, "Yeah, I smoked through the scene and then threw up for days afterwards." Feel bad for them. It's not so hot right now, thank God. It would be worse if my windows were closed, though. So, um, yeah. So let's see. Charles Manson, as far as I understand, and it's being kind of confirmed and revealed these days that he had connections to the CIA, and we do believe that they taught him how to basically MK Ultra people. They did it to him and then taught him how to do it so that he could do it to others and form his little cult. I know there's a lot. Oh, it's the conspiracy shit, but it's really coming out that that's what happened. Of course, it takes 50 fucking years. They bury shit pretty deep. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up, about the Tate murders and the LaBianca murders and whatever. And there's a reason why it doesn't add up, because conspiracies do happen. I know people don't want to believe it, but that it's true that people conspire, especially those with more power than others. But like, for instance, how the Tate murder, their crime scene was not secured. They literally brought in members of the Manson family to look around for some reason, to look around to see if they could tell them anything. That was before they quote unquote knew that it was the Manson family that did it. But what? Why? Why would you contaminate a crime scene like that by just bringing in people? And why the Manson family? That's so fucking random. There's no way that's a coincidence. That never happens. That's some bullshit. There's a lot of things that went wrong with the investigation where cops and people that usually do their job were suddenly making mistakes and messing up and screwing up evidence left and right. Anyway, we also just got our introduction to Roman pedo fucking Polanski and Sharon Tate. They're played by, I don't know, some guy that... Was it the Speed Racer guy? No, that Speed Racer plays Jay. I don't know who plays that pedo, but Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. She does an okay job, I guess. All she really has to do is look like her, which she sort of does, but sort of doesn't. Also, I'm a huge Sharon Tate fan. Like, I love her, and I know a lot about her. It's a shame that she couldn't still be with us. I would imagine she'd still be alive today if it wasn't for this shit. Her and her baby. She'd be 80 something, but she could still be with us to this day. We wouldn't have this movie, but that'd be all right. For the trade a great movie for lives, get some lives back. But anyway, there's one, maybe two parts of the movie where I feel like she looks like Sharon Tate. But mostly she just looks like Margot Robbie to me. I will say that there are some people, hold on, that complain about Sharon Tate's portrayal in this movie. They're like, well, she doesn't hardly say anything. It's like she's not even a part of the movie. And I think that's the entire point. Sharon Tate in this movie, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, survives because the movie's not about her. It's not about her. She's the neighbor of who it's about. And I think it's portrayed perfectly because, yeah, so we don't need a deep backstory about who Sharon was or what her day to day life was, what the details were, like a biography or something. This movie is not about her. And that's why she lives. It's about Rick fucking Dalton. And it just so happens that his neighbor is Sharon Tate. Oh, and these scenes. Now, this is where, oh my god, this is where you have to praise real fucking filmmaking and practical effects. Look at this. This isn't as much as CGI. It's not CGI signs and shit. They actually redid blocks and blocks of worth of Hollywood Boulevard to look like the 60s. And I mean, when you watch like the making of documentary, they'll show you it's not just big billboards and stuff. It's right down to the smallest detail is something that's recreated or a prop from the 60s. Please bring that back. Fuck CGI. Fucking forever. Just leave CGI to make the Avatar movies and fucking that's it. We don't need it for everything else. Practical effects all the ass way. That's right. I'm getting on my soapbox and I ain't ever getting the fuck off because fuck you. Vote for me for president. That sounded like I think that was a good slogan for my presidential run. Cause fuck you. Vote for me cause fuck you. Alright, I gotta get to drinking. I'm slacking over here. Yeah, I'm really slacking, but we'll get there. I hope it sounds okay. It sure as fuck better, because after I do almost 3 hours of this, it better sound okay. I'm not doing it again. That'd be kind of cool to live right there by a drive-in and just to be able to see the screen at all times. I'll eventually get it done like I do with things. Just take time, but I was working on a script about a drive-in movie theater that I really liked the idea of, but I hit a wall, like, writer's block and shit. I got 22 pages in, just fucking hit a wall, and I haven't been able to complete it since then. And it's bugging me, because I know it can be great, and I want it to be made, but I gotta finish it first. But it is what it is. I work at my own pace. Look at this wood paneled RV. That's how you know it's old school. He's got wicker in there. Oh, got fur on his furniture. Good old 1969. Sorry, I had to sniffle for a minute. 23 minutes in. We got so far to go. This is never going to work. Wolf's Tooth. What is that? That's a weird brand name. I mean, I know it's fake, but it's weird to come up with that. Wolf's Tooth. Like, okay. Oh, you know what? It just now started to feel hot. I feel a little hot. Come on, breeze. Blow through here. Brandy's the hero of the movie. Really. The dog. The whole movie should be about the dog. And like just you sort of see a little bit of these other characters in the peripheral story of the dog, but it's just all about the dog and how he sits in this trailer for 12 hours every day without shitting on the floor somehow or without being taken for a walk. Anyway, I'm not saying plot hole, I'm just saying plot hole. Look at that bowl. I remember those old freaking dog bowls. Ew, that chili looked like it's gone bad. I have a feeling that chili has gone bad. Oh, now he's making me want some mac and cheese, though. I'll have to have some after the Drunkentary. Hell, if we got another 2 hours to go. I might have to eat in the middle of this. Actually, might have to have a McMuffin in the middle of the Drunkentary, but whatever. I'm gonna have to have me some weed soon too because I'm fucking jonesing. Because I'm addicted, even though nobody wants to admit it. Cocksuckers. You ever suck some dick for weed? No, I can't say I have. But it's getting there. I mean, it's getting bad. It's getting bad, man. It's like if I was that desperate and somebody was like, suck my dick for some weed, I'd be like, well, what strain is it? What strain are we talking here? Oh, those Steins are awesome. We had some of those. I don't know if we still do. I think they just kind of got lost over 1,000 moves, but we used to have like German beer steins with those foam caps or whatever. It's supposed to keep the foam out or some shit. You don't even know what I'm saying. Just drink your alcohol. That's a sweet looking view from that pool. That's cool. Sweet looking view. So they had to find this location. They had to search everywhere just for that road right there. You see that car coming down? And the fact that these two houses were next to each other on a cul-de-sac. They had to find all those three things in one spot. And they did. They did. Just somewhere in Hollywood. But yeah, it's very specific. When you're like Tarantino, you can get away with that. Like, I have to have things like that. Like, they gotta be this way. So search for months until you find what I need. Look, why is he dressed like Austin Powers? Is that some kind of in joke? What is that? Is that really is that just the way he looked back then? Here comes up the scene where I'm saying it's one of the only times where I feel like she really really looks like Sharon is when she's driving in the car right here or riding in the car, and it's like she lets her hair down. I'll point it out. Hopefully we'll be in sync, so you'll be like, okay. Or if not, you can fast forward to it or rewind to it on your VHS that you're watching this on. Hopefully we're in sync, though. You know, I don't see why we shouldn't be. He's hauling some ass. That guy. Why, God, why? Here, this part right here. She actually looks like Sharon right there because Sharon would keep her mouth open like that. Like slightly open a lot. That's the one part right there where she really looks like her right there. I wish she looked like her more through the movie. But I mean, she approximates her well enough, I suppose. But Sharon had bigger eyes. Like big eyes you get lost in. All right, so let's talk about some stuff. Let's talk about Sharon Tate a little bit and her marriage to this piece of shit asshole. So Sharon lived an interesting life. Like myself, she was always on the move because of an army dad. Always. She was born in Dallas, but always on the move. Lived all over the country, lived in other countries and whatever. In fact, I lived near her. She lived in Richland, Washington. And I lived in Kennewick, Washington, which was just 5 minutes from where she lived. And I probably drove right by her house where she used to live and didn't even realize it. But anyway, so she would claim, and I believe her, she said, I don't have any control over my life. Things just happen and I go along for the ride. That's like paraphrasing, but that's basically what she said. That things would just happen to her, not that she was really seeking them out. I know when she was young, very young even. In fact, I think maybe her mother started her in modeling when she was a child. There's probably a couple pictures, like advertisements of her very young. But like when she was a teenager, she won Miss Richland in Washington. She became Miss Richland, despite probably having been there less than a year because of her constant moving. And let me tell you, she won that contest 10 years to the day that she was murdered. 10 years to the day before. And I believe when she was crowned a Miss Richland, and I know we're getting into conspiracy theory territory here that we will cover even more later on, that's when she was chosen. But then it goes to say, like, even her marriage to I cannot remember any fucking names ever, and it's pissing me off. Pedo guy. That wasn't planned. It just seemed to be something that happened too. It's like it was planned for her, and I do believe she would even say so herself, that it seemed it was planned for her to marry God damn it, Roman Polanski. Who wants to remember that name anyway? But she was dating, as this guy is now currently explaining, Jay. I just can't remember names. It's such a weird fucking stupid thing that's wrong with me. And it is true. What he's telling you is that she dated him, then dumped him for Roman, married Roman, and then the three of them were like inseparable. That is true. But anyway, sorry to go quiet there. I was just listening to the story a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that by you. A lot of things, just like her getting into acting and going to Hollywood even and becoming married to Roman Polanski, all that stuff was not like a part of her plan. It just sort of was like planned for her. And she just sort of went with it because who wouldn't want to become like a famous actress married to a famous director and live in the Hollywood Hills in a nice house? And so, of course, she went along with it. She would say she was not happy with her marriage to Roman, that he would constantly cheat on her, and she just dealt with it because she didn't know what else to do, I guess. What a piece of shit he is. I hate him so much. And this motherfucker is still alive to this goddamn day. Living in France because, when he got accused of rape in 1979, he took off to France because that's what innocent people do, right? They leave the country so they can't be charged or arrested, and they just stay in France for the rest of their lives. That's what innocent people do. Fuck Roman Polanski. Let's move on. Cocksucker. Alright. And here's another little shot of some sleeping Sharon. And this is another thing I like about the portrayal. Again, like I said, she's not the star of the movie. That's why it's not about her. And that's why we just see like snippets of her everyday bullshit life. Like unimportant things like her sleeping, dancing to music, folding her clothes. It's because she's not the star of the movie. She's just in the peripheral. It's just because she's the neighbor of Rick Dalton. Look at that. That's awesome. Just like a big board that looks like a whole town. You can just move it out of the way. That's awesome. Look at all those old cars. I like to look at old cars. I don't necessarily think they look beautiful. Unless it's like a muscle car, then yeah, I get rock hard over muscle cars. Or a custom van, I think is pretty sweet. But yeah, I get a little roused seeing a muscle car. But in general, like the boxy cars of the 60s, 70s, and 80s don't do it for me. I just like to see them as for nostalgia's sake. But I will admit though, at least like I feel like they might have been safer than our current cars because they were made out of actual steel, and now they just make them out of like plastic and shit. Recycled other cars or whatever. Fuck. Rick fucking Dalton. Yeah, Brad Pitt said somebody told him that once when he was going on an audition, and so he decided to put it in the movie. Somebody said, "Don't you forget, you're Brad fucking Pitt. You don't even have to emote. Everybody loves you. You don't ever have to act. People will give you the Academy Award because you're Brad motherfucking Pitt." I do like Brad Pitt though. Like it sounds like I'm giving him shit, but I like him. Like I like him. Name a lot more Brad Pitt movies that I would watch over Leo movies. It's just this one case where I feel like Leo got robbed. Leo got robbed. I gotta get wasted. I'm not drunk enough. Let me chug this mother down. Here we go. Oh, that's a bird waiting to happen. All right, one down. Got me a bucket of beers here. Grab another Kroner. Sweet. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I literally have, sorry to have a little sad moment, but I don't have anybody to talk to or hang out with at all. And I'll take the blame for it, I guess. Well, to some degree. Some degree, it's because people believe fake news, and so they decided to stop being my friends. But I'll take blame that as somebody that just felt like the need to get away from everyone. But now it's pretty lonely, so I don't have anybody to talk to. So it's kind of nice just doing a Drunkentary and talking to the 12 fat, sweaty guys that still listen to what I do. I called you fat and sweaty, so you know it's true. Somebody's gonna send in pictures now of their like abs. Look at, do I look fat to you? I'm just messing with y'all. I like to fuck around with everybody. Hell, I throw myself under the bus too. Let's all just jump under the bus. That's how I feel about it. Ooh, got a buzz setting in. All right, let's talk about the fashion of the times. Right? Look at what we're looking at here. You get yellow shirt, sort of like look at all the yellows and oranges. The fashion of the 70s was just about to bloom. Oh, I'll get the burps now. The yellows, browns, and oranges of the 70s was just about to bloom. You can see it. And that's attention to detail right there, too. Knowing that it's 1969 and the culture's about to change, and that there would be minute like changes that you could see coming, like colors and fashion in buildings and stuff. Yeah, things like that. Because take a look at this building here, right, where a pussycat is sitting. It's very bright pinks. There is orange there, but it's like you see that red. Like the 60s were like there's a little bit of purple. The 60s were more colorful flower power bullshit, and then 70s was like our color scheme is going to be yellow, orange, and brown. That's for the whole 70s. That's going to be it. And I guess everyone agreed on that. I guess. All right, so let's talk about while we're listening to KHJ as he drives around. Let's talk about radio for a minute here in music. I have to be a hipster for a moment and tell you that before this movie came out, I was already somebody that listened to old radio broadcasts from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I still do. But after this movie, it became even more like I guess now other people do. But I was a part of a fringe group. But now a lot more people are into listening to KHJ, in particular, Boss Radio from the 60s and 70s. Because they played good music, it's fun, it's nostalgic. But I'll tell you this, and this is something that, as a music lover, makes a big difference to me. When you listen to old radio broadcasts, you can tell there's a barrier, there's a line, and it was 1970. After 1970, like radio became top 40, repeat the same bullshit over and over kind of crap. But before 1970, you listen to radio before that, they would just play the hits. They would play all sorts of stuff. You'll actually hear something you'd never heard before, and it's great. It was a great variety of music, and then top 40 came and ruined fucking radio. But anyway, it's going to turn into a Drunkentary. I goddamn knew it. I'm a rant. Look at, everybody stop and look at Brad Pitt. He had to take his shirt off to do this. Isn't that funny? Why? Well, how's that? How's that going to help him fix the... Well, like I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, okay, so if you're gonna get into a fight, you want to take off some stuff so you can maneuver better or whatever, because you got to fight. But like, why do you take his shirt off just to fix the antenna? I guess the heat, maybe. We're gonna go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not because Brad Pitt had to show off his body. It's because it was hot. That must be it. Or maybe he knows something about antenna repair that I don't. And he's like, first you gotta take your shirt off, right? You want to use the sweat dripping down your torso and put it here in the pole, and that'll help it slide around better, and then you can get it into a better position. It's like, yeah, I guess I didn't think of that. I didn't even think about that, using body sweat. It's a booty sweat. Oh, good God. If that was the case, I'd go up on the roof and then take my pants off. I gotta use booty sweat. How do you expect me to fix this shit? I mean, do you got some booty sweat I can use? Yeah, you can tell I'm getting a little buzz now. Once we start talking booty sweat. Hey, it's Kurt Russell. It took me a moment to stop talking long enough to introduce him. Hey, everybody. Everybody's favorite, Kurt Russell. I like this, how he keeps trying to say no. Like, I don't want him. But, like, Rick fights and fights and fights. Like, how many times you gotta tell a person no, damn it? It should be one time. Like, what do you say to a Rick Dalton with two black eyes? Nothing. You already told him twice. No, I'm not hiring Cliff. But he's persistent, so, you know. I just love it. Like he knows he doesn't want him, and he's gonna never stop until the guy breaks and says, "Okay, fine, fine." I wonder. I don't feel like that's a normal tactic of Rick's. This is just a special case. It's the only way he can get his friend work. He's got to be persistent. Oh, here we go. So here's the scene that's a reference to the death of Natalie Wood. Shall we talk about Natalie Wood for a moment? Do you want to learn about that? She was a great actress, starting in like the 50s and all the way through until her death in the 80s. Her mysterious death, where she was on a boat with her husband Robert Wagner and I smoke too much weed. Like, it's killed my brain cells that know people's names. Mr. Content. This is ruining my commentary. I can't get through a sentence if I can't remember names. What's his name? Christopher Walken. Why? How did that leave my mind? You know, I do have this as a problem, and I've mentioned it plenty of times in my videos and stuff. But I don't think it's really this much of a problem until I'm recording something. For some reason, hitting the record button like deletes names from my fucking database. Walken. Okay, I was trying to remember his name. His name's Walken. I'm gonna do a really bad impression. Sounds like a retarded Walken is what that sounded like. Hey, I'm retarded walking over here. Okay. Anyway, mysterious death, Natalie Wood. I believe she was killed because, some stuff let's not even get into it. Let's not even get into some of that Hollywood drama, just so you know, it was briefly referenced in this movie. Natalie Wood did not deserve whatever the fuck happened to her. But now we gotta move on to Bruce Lee. Whom, by the way, I want to say this is the greatest Bruce Lee impersonator I've ever fucking seen. And you know what? After Bruce Lee's death, or even before he died, there was a lot of Bruce Lee impersonators. Remember Bruce Lee? There's like any variation you can think of the last name. There is a Bruce Lee impersonator. Bruce Lee, Bruce blah, blah, lula, lee, la, lula. Just anything. This guy nails it, though. again, this is one of those cases where some peeps are upset by the portrayal of Bruce Lee, who I think was awesome, but I don't think he was perfect. And I know that the estate, the Bruce Lee estate, God bless them, but they try to gatekeep his image. You know, they don't ever want anything that's not looks favorable of him to get out. And Quentin has said that Bruce Lee had a problem with stunt guys, and I think I might believe that to a certain extent. I'm not really sure if I believe that he was really a dick to them, but maybe they were jealous or something. I know that in not Game of Death, Enter the Dragon, there's a scene where he gets really punched by a quote-unquote stunt person or extra. I guess it would be a stunt person throwing a punch, not just an extra. But there is a scene where he really gets hit, and I think maybe that was like payback if it's true that he gave stuntmen a hard time. But I don't know. I can't prove it. I haven't really looked into it, whether he was a dick to stuntmen or not. I just heard Quentin say that, so passing that along. You do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But this guy nails it when it comes to impersonating Bruce. And for a split second, man, when the fight starts, it's like amazing. It's like, oh, we're about to get this awesome fight scene, and it only lasts for like 15 seconds. And it's just this, it's like a perfect little tease. It just makes you want more Kung Fu all of a sudden. But you're not going to get more. It's not a Kung Fu movie. But, you know, at least we got a tease. We got a little taste of some nice Kung Fu. 47 minutes, guys. That means, you know, we're a third of the way through. Ain't nobody listening to this shit. Hey, nobody. Thanks for listening. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I can't believe people are still saying that shit on YouTube. I think I might start like a petition to make it illegal. People should not still be saying, don't forget to like and subscribe and smash that like button and smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell. Please stop. Please stop. It does not need to be said for a 5 billionth time. By now, we all know. If we want to subscribe, we know how to do it. We know. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll move on. Here comes the fight. Whoa! Hey, what's Bruce Lee's favorite drink? Water! Oh, that was good. That was good. You know what? That made the whole thing worth it right there. Man, that's a dent. It is kind of nice just to see Bruce Lee get thrown into a car once. Because I love him. I watch his movie. I love him. Like, I love Bruce Lee. But, you know, he's always wins. Sometimes you just need to see Bruce get thrown into a car door. It's fine. It just humanizes him a little bit. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like what I mean about the Bruce Lee estate kind of wants to keep him as, like, superhuman seeming. But he was just a man. He was a great man. He was very driven and had a vision for sure. Very philosophical. But yeah, still just a man. There's Zoe Bell. Is that her name? She's a stunt lady. She was in Death Proof with Kurt there. Good old Kurt there over there. What kind of movie are they filming with all this Egyptian shit? I wonder, what is going on? I like how she didn't see her car until somebody mentioned it. It was right there. She did not see it. He's so casual. Oh, I just threw Bruce Lee at her car. I don't know. It's not that big a deal, guys. Come on. If this was a normal Drunkentary, we'd be halfway through. All that was a freaking flashback. I want to say that that is a bit of a. As much as I praise Tarantino, I think he's one of the best directors out there. That little flashback cut is a little awkward because you forget that you're in a flashback. In fact, you kind of don't even know that you're in a flashback till after it's over. I guess that's the part that's weird. They should have done like the woo-doo, 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 that little bit like what they do in Wayne's World when they do a flashback. So you know that you're going into a flashback because you don't know. It just seems like a new scene, and then you only find out that it's a flashback after it's over. Anyway, any damn way. Oh, that looks just like his Porsche out there. Here comes Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. You see, I want Charles in charge of me. It had to be done. I guess I'm going to get a copyright strike for that one. By the Charles in Charge show. Hasn't been on the air in 40 fucking years. Fuck you, Charles Manson. And fuck everybody out there that thinks he's cool. He ain't cool. You just fell for his fucking stupid tactics to make you think he's awesome. That's how he got a damn cult in the first place. And here, this is all coming from the guy that owns his CD. I paid money. No, I gave money to Charles Manson, basically. Fuck. Now I feel like an asshole. I guess I'm one of the family. They made sure to get that door right, even though the house doesn't really look like the Tate house, which, by the way, was demolished and built over with some disgusting, gigantic, shitty looking fucking mansion. I know it's kind of sick to be like that was a nice house that people were murdered in, but it was a nice house. Better than the one that stands there now. But, that happens sometimes. At least they waited a couple decades. Like, they did not wait any time to demolish Spawn Ranch. That was, again, another case of the authorities getting rid of evidence. As quickly as they could, they fucking demolished Spawn Ranch so that nobody could find any kind of evidence there. The authorities were in on it to some degree. Yeah. To some degree. You just wait. I'm going to blow your mind later on with some shit, some conspiracy theory shit, and you're going to hate me, but it's going to be crazy. He just throws that shit on the ground. What an asshole. He knows they're filming a Western there, and he can't have a cup, like a styrofoam cup on the ground in the shot, but he doesn't give a shit. He's Rick fucking Dalton. He doesn't have to care about anything. He also has a weird cough going on throughout the whole movie, and I don't know what that's all about. He just smokes too much, I think. Maybe it's I think maybe it's a nod to Yul Brynner, who died of cancer from smoking too many cigarettes, and made that commercial that was aired after he died, telling people not to smoke. I think that's probably what that is. His smoking and coughing, I think, is probably a nod to Yul Brynner. Could be wrong. Somebody call up Quentin Tarantino. Almost called him Tintin Quarantino. Tintin. Give him a call and ask him what it was about, and he'll tell you. Again, just another thing though that he's doing, that he's acting. That's more than just being a stone face. See, this is the lesson I've learned in life from everyone in this world has taught me. Don't try. If you put in a bunch of effort and a good performance, no one cares. Just don't try and everyone will praise you. That's what I've learned. Don't emote for your movie. Why would you emote in a movie? Come on. You want that award, don't you? All right. And now I've lost everyone. No one is fucking listening to this. No one's left. I don't know what the inspiration was for this little girl, but she's cool, and this is a great scene. Even though her little attitude is actually kind of annoying, like it's the uptight, prissy bullshit. You have to talk to me. You call me by my fake name. You have to kind of bullshit, but still, she's a great little actress, and it's a fun scene to see him. I don't know, like across from the newest generation coming in, that's very serious about acting, and he's sort of the old generation, and he's starting to realize he needs to take things more seriously. Because if this is his competition, if this is his competition, he needs to step up his game. I still don't feel like I'm drunk enough, but we got quite a ways to go, so let's not push it too fast. I am about ready for a hit, though, because how long can I wait? Getting the shakes, I'm telling you. Let me ask you, did that groundhog see his shadow? Am I going to have to relive this day? Do I got to do this Drunkentary over and over and every day? Oh my God, I don't know if I can do that. I like this movie, but I don't know if I can do a Drunkentary for it every day. Groundhog Day style. And if you've never seen Groundhog Day, you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch it. It's a great movie. Oh, you hear those planes going by? You can hear all that shit, can't you? Planes and cars. It's fucking fantastic. It's very noisy here, but whatever. I'm telling you, it's like a summer day. Right now, I think the rest of the country is like under a layer of ice, but for some reason where I live, it's summer right now. And I don't know how to feel about it. Excuse me. Excuse me some more. I'm not going to excuse that one, though. I hate the cold and I hate the winter, but it's also a natural part of our seasons. And if a very warm winter might mean an extremely hot summer, and I am not okay with that. I don't want a hot summer. Let's see, how we doing? We're an hour, getting to the first hour in. All right. Just another movie's worth, a whole nother movie's worth to go. That's all. We might, you know what? This will be the one where you have to listen to it in breaks. You're going to, have an intermission. Listen to half one day, half the next day. You'll be okay. And if you don't give a fuck about this movie or my crazy conspiracy theories, don't listen to it at all. Because you're not going to enjoy this shit. It's not super funny yet. I don't know. I ain't got nothing funny to go on yet. Except for a booty sweat was pretty funny. I need another booty sweat moment. But I'm going to hit this weed and that'll probably just shut me up. So, say goodbye to the jokes now that didn't even show. Say goodbye to the jokes that never even came. Because I'm about to hit the weed and shut the fuck up and start watching the movie. Okay. And this might choke me. So I might be coughing here in a second. Yeah. I didn't bring the bong in here. It was a bit much, but hit the pipe, though. Hit the pipe for all my stoners out there. It's really hot right now. Holy mother. At least I don't have a shirt on. Alright. Now it's just a complainantary. Like, see this kind of thing right here. Where she's, I don't like being called pumpkin puss. Kind of like she's gonna become a Karen. You can tell this is a I want to speak to your manager kind of girl. And you could just accidentally make a mistake, right, and say something that apparently you didn't even know was off limits, and they're gonna want to talk to the manager and have you fired. I'm sorry, but that's what this little girl's energy is. Right? She's like a woke person. She's like, you have to refer to me by my fake name. You can't talk to me. You can't refer to me by my real name. So you have to deny reality. And then if you say a word I don't like, You're out. All right. All right. Let's not get political, but I actually had no idea that was coming. I didn't know I was going to even say that. But she was acting like a little Karen. You got to admit, she was Karen-y. That's like fucking reeks like weed in here. What are you going to do? What am I going to step out and have fucking bong hit while I'm doing a drunkentary? No. Like, bend over in front of the camera, girl. Yeah. With your Daisy Dukes on. All right. I'm going to drink some more. So, like I've said, even though Sharon is not the star of this movie, it's not about her. It is peripherally about her because of the historical significance. So we do get to see her once in a while in otherwise mundane situations, usually, except when she's dancing at the Playboy Mansion. But of all of the mundane, sort of seemingly pointless scenes with her, this is my favorite because it's a nice little insight. Like I said, we don't need a bunch of insight into her or her backstory or her character very much, but a little bit is welcome, and this is the perfect amount of. By the way, I've seen this movie. She's great in it. Not a great movie, but Sharon's great in it. She plays a klutz named Freya, something like that. And I've seen a couple of her movies. She's great, and not all of them. There's still a couple I need to see. She didn't, unfortunately, get to make that many, but you should check out her first role in the movie called The Eye of the Devil. I believe it's called, or The Devil's Eye. I think it's called The Eye of the Devil. But anyway, she's really, really good in that movie. Check it out just for her. And it's actually a decent little movie. But her. That there is, what's his name? From Return of the Living Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I can't remember names, so fucking don't even think I'm going to say it. That's another weird cut. That's the weirdest one. Especially since he goes from not wearing a hat to suddenly wearing his hat. I'll say that. That's the weirdest cut I've seen in a Tarantino movie, I think. A jump cut. Like, it might be the only jump cut, too. In like a movie. No, it's not the only jump cut in a movie, but it's probably the only jump cut in a Tarantino movie. Especially something that doesn't like jump cut to another scene. It's the same scene. This is from The Great Escape, I believe. I've never seen the movie. I will eventually, though. I'll see it. I just am aware of it. How come I can remember the movie names, but I can't remember fucking people's names? I know, it's just burps now. I like this part where he just says, "I didn't get it." You can tell he's still got a lot of anger about it, but what can he do? And he's angry that this guy brought it up, and now he has to talk about it. So he's like, "Yeah, I didn't get it. He got it, and that's that." Thanks for bringing it up. Can we talk about something better? I will say she's dressed very much like Sharon would dress. And she's a blonde girl, but she still just doesn't quite look like her to me. Not quite. Just in one or two scenes. So Sharon was known for loving, well, I guess it's just a basic trait of all females, it seems like. They love to be barefoot all the time for some reason. They want to own 1,000 shoes and then constantly go barefoot. Yeah, you make sense of it. But Sharon insisted on being barefoot as much as she could possibly get away with. So that's why in this scene coming up when she's in the movie and she puts her feet up on the chair in front of her and they're disgustingly dirty, it's because she was walking around barefoot as much as she could. She was also known to wear rubber bands around her ankles and feet just to make it appear as though she had sandals on so she could still get away with walking around barefoot. Again, I've seen a lot of reactors, you know, go, why is her feet so gross? Ah. It's because Sharon loved to be barefoot. And by the way, for some reason, all females love to be barefoot. You ever notice how many females have jacked up feet, by the way? I'm sure it's just a coincidence. They try to get them, like, what is it, pedicured? Man, I don't know which is which, because I'm not gay, so I wouldn't know the terminology of that kind of shit, but they try to get their feet done, but they're always fucked up. Women's feet are fucked up, and it's because they won't wear their 1,000 shoes. Anyway, rant over. Moving on to the next rant. Also, I like this that she wanted to be recognized, but she's not recognizable yet. So she had to like tell them, "Look, I'm in the movie." So she was a rising star. She wasn't a star yet, but she would have been for sure. Like it was almost a guarantee. I will say though that Roman Polanski wanted to cast her in Rosemary's Baby, but didn't because he thought it would just come off as a director hiring his wife and not because he thought she was right for the role. Wow, he actually made a logical, reasonable decision once. Good for him. But had he cast her in Rosemary's Baby, she would have been fucking like stratosphere famous at the time of her death. She would have been like top famous person. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel as though she probably would have kicked some ass in Rosemary's Baby. Mia Farrow does just a fine job. She does a good job. I think Sharon probably would have killed it. Especially when you watch her performance, like I said, in The Devil's Eye, or The Eye of the Devil. I can't quite remember what it's called. I think it's The Eye of the Devil. Look at those glasses. So huge. Jesus. Jeez, they're like windshields. Like goggles. Those are huge glasses. But anyway, we get to see her, the real Sharon, here in these clips. There she is. Look at her. She falls over. So cute. Oh my god. I love her. I'm sorry. I really love Sharon. She was a great person. So let me share that too. There's a reason why I and so many other people still love her so much. She was a redhead in this movie, the Wrecking Crew, but she still looked good as a redhead too. So it's anybody, and I mean anybody that knew Sharon will tell you that they never ever met a more pure, more loving, more kind person. She has been referred to as an earth angel. She just was not like humans. She wasn't like people. She wasn't like what you would think of as the average actress living in Hollywood married to a famous director would be. She was just a beautiful, beautiful soul. Like, beautiful outside, but what makes her so easy to fall in love with is that she was so beautiful inside. Such a good soul. So, another light, was extinguished. A light that shined too brightly in our world got extinguished, but we still love her and we still remember her. Rest in peace, Sharon. I call her my Sharona. I have a little nickname for her. My mom's name is Sharon, right? So it's a little weird, like crushing on somebody named Sharon when your mom's name is Sharon. So I just call her my Sharona. I could never have given Sharon like a Hollywood life, but man, she would have been better off with me or anybody else over Roman Polanski. Like anybody else, just about. Anyhow, it is what it is, and it happened how it happened. Can't change it now. This, though, he's got to eat this chicken. Why has he got to eat this chicken? You that hungry? I wonder whose idea it was. Do you think this was Leo's idea? Do you think this was Tarantino's idea? Could it be in the script even? Usually something like I want to be eaten during the scene is just an actor being kind of neurotic or hungry. One of the two. But it often doesn't enhance a scene, and this is not enhancing the scene for me. He could have been doing other things besides eating a drumstick. Rolling himself a cigarette. Maybe that's too cliche, but it's definitely better. Seems more realistic. What else could he be doing? Rolling a J, getting high, smoking a crack pipe. Wouldn't that be funny? We just bust out like an old Western crack pipe. It's like made out of wood, so it doesn't really work. You can only use it once. The whole thing burns up while you're trying to smoke your crack. Like, goddamn Western times. I can't wait until glass gets invented. Oh, wait. Glass would have been around, so I'm stupid, but I was trying to be funny. I guess crack pipes existed in 1888. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to Google that shit after this. I want to see what a crack pipe looked like. Fucking OK Corral. That's what you get for having your gun over on the other side of your hip, you fucking retard. Again, another thing I am obviously an expert in is showdowns, pistol showdowns. It's fine. We all act like we're experts about shit we don't know nothing about. Admit it. You know it's fucking true. I've seen you do it. It's a weird ego thing. Where we know we don't know, but we gotta act like we know. The ego does, not the real us. The ego is very active and is always about me, and throwing his arms around and trying to get attention. The real us kind of sits quietly back and watches all that shit happen. You don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, it's okay. The ego, my point being, just likes to act like it knows everything all the time, and I'm trying to throw myself under the bus by acting like I don't know nothing about freaking showdowns. I've never been in one. What do I know? Maybe having your gun on the other side of your hip is the way to go. Maybe it is. I wouldn't do that. I'd have that gun surgically fucking sewn into my hand, so it's just always ready. Always at the ready. Oh, we're almost halfway, guys. I mean, guy. One person. We're almost halfway. One person that's still listening. Thanks for listening to this shit. I don't know why you would. I don't know. I'm not drunk enough. I keep saying that. Alright, I'm gonna chug. Here, let's raise it up. Here's to Rick motherfucking Dalton. Oh, they're drinking. I'm gonna chug with them. Oh, that's better. The way he turns back around. That's the way I turn around too. When somebody's like, "Why didn't you tell me before I left the fucking bar?" kind of turn. You know? Like I could have had it already. Asshole. Anyway. I like those little weird cups they're drinking out of. They drinking tequila? I don't want tequila though. Ugh. Ugh. Disgusted. Jesus, I threw up a little. I had to swallow it back down. It's all good though. That just happened. Now I've lost everybody. Now I'm talking to my fucking self at this point. Now I get to spend the next hour and a half talking to myself. Ain't gonna hurt her. Just wanted to play the fiddle. Line. I would be horrible at remembering lines. Like him, though, I would have to do it his way of like recording them and fucking rehearsing over and over until it's memorized. I would just. There's a reason why I'm not an actor, guys. Is what I'm trying to say. Especially wouldn't have the ability to act within a movie within a movie and be like Rick Dalton and Caleb acting as both of them at the same time. That's what he's doing right now. It's also another thing about acting is like when they want different takes, you have to determine whether they want something different or they just have to do it the same but better. Maybe that's a communication thing, but I feel like some actors just decide that if they do multiple takes, then that means he wants me to do something different. Because why would I do the same thing again? Right? And I guess that makes perfect sense. Why would you do the same thing again? Except unless it's to perfect that thing. But I guess the director would probably clarify that. So the idea being, as an actor, if the director wants more takes, you got to find different ways of delivering that line. Because he doesn't want the same thing again. That's a waste of film. And they don't always film on film anymore, but that used to be a costly thing, wasting time on rolling film on something that you didn't need to film. Anyway, there's my I don't know, I guess I just held a workshop and you were a part of it. A little acting workshop from somebody, again, that doesn't know anything about anything, and yet I know everything about everything somehow. What? That's just the ego. Good old ego thinks it knows everything. And I'm just watching his performance now. You can tell, look at the way he's performing. He's preoccupied with himself right now. He's pissed off at himself. He wasn't in the scene. I love this scene. I don't know what it is. I guess it's relatable to me because I've done the same freak out before. Not overacting, obviously, but just like trying to get anything right. And I have to fucking give myself the you better straighten your shit up or I'm going to fucking end my own life lecture. You know, been there, done that. Did I straighten up? Well, I mean, I'm still alive, but I didn't necessarily set the world on fire. But I heard this was not in the script. This was suggested by Leo to Quentin that we need this scene where he has a breakdown about his own problem keeping up in the scene, and it's one of my favorites. I love it. Where one of my favorite lines. He goes, "You couldn't stop at 5 or 6. Oh, you had to 7 or 8." I think he might already say it, but it cracks me up the way he says it. You had to have 7 or 8. Couldn't stop at 5 or 6. I'm not doing it justice. You just got to hear his line delivery. It's great. Had to have 7 or 8. And I've said the same shit to myself too. God damn it, Eric! You couldn't stop at 5 or 6. All right. Here comes some more scenes with the real Sharon, my Sharona. Look at her. How cute she is. You got to see her in the very last scene of the movie where she's just all looking sexy and seductive with her red hair. Whew, buddy, talk about Babelicious. She scored very high on the strokeability scale. Swing. Kick her ass, Sharon. Don't take no shit from that Chinese bitch. Kick her in the fortune cookie. That gets him every time. You know how many times I've kicked a girl on their fortune cookie? That ends it. You don't have to deal with a bunch of stuff. I mean, she's already got two black eyes because you told her twice, and she won't, let go of the arguments. You gotta kick a girl in her fortune cookie, and then that ends it. Just a little tip for you guys out there, for all you wife beaters and shit, for you abusers that need some tips on how to be worse of people. Sorry, I'm losing my mind right now. A little tip for y'all: kick her in the twat. I'll do it. All right, now it sounds like a Drunkentary. Now it sounds dangerous, where I actually might get kind of canceled. They can't cancel me. First of all, if they tried, I just wouldn't apologize, and I wouldn't. You just don't bow to them. You just don't do what they say you have to do. Just fuck them. Who cares? Also, I canceled my own channel a long time ago when I stopped making content intentionally. So it's all good. I don't think I got too much to worry about. They're going to kill my career. Oh no, my career where I earn money from doing YouTube. Right. Which I never did. Never, ever, 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 ever. Actually, to be honest, in all the time I did, I got like 2 checks from YouTube. That's it. Because I never monetized my shit, because who gives a fuck? The whole point was I didn't want really to be something that I had to do so that I could quit when I wanted to. I don't have to keep making shit just because I got to pay the bills kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? This girl is attractive, though, I must say. Good God. Except until she shows her armpit hair. Sorry, girls, but don't dig it. You have to think about it. The Manson family was mostly females, and they just seduced people to get what they wanted. Or killed them, which was, also an option for them. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay. So, yeah, I probably... The good chance that I would have been easily seduced by the Manson family. Until I saw that fucking armpit hair. And then I would have walked out of Spawn Ranch going, oh, thank you. I'm going to go get some Gillettes. Come back. You guys take care of that. But yeah. And that's why there was, a lot of women. Of course, if it was just a gang of dudes, that's just scary. But like a gang of chicks, shit, I might get laid. It's like a whole different vibe. Of course you can make a cult of a bunch of females, attractive females. Alright, I guess it's time to start talking about the Manson family and everything I know about them. So, they're going to take off to Spawn Ranch now. In this movie, obviously, I told you that after the Manson killings in 1969, the authorities thought it would be a fantastic idea to just bulldoze Spawn Ranch completely into the ground. I don't know, maybe instead of doing any kind of investigation or trying to find something like maybe evidence, connect maybe some dots or something. Instead, they said, let's just fucking bulldoze it. So nobody can go in and find anything that might contradict the official story. So the original Spawn Ranch is just a bulldozed land of cactus and rattlesnakes at this point. Where they filmed at was just 2 miles up the road, down from where the original Spawn Ranch was. I gotta admit, that's very close. It's close. Just 2 miles down the road, and they recreated Spawn Ranch, essentially in the same area where the Manson family lived. So now you know that. They should have left their their facade up, but I believe, when most of the time that when movies build facades and things like that, they tear them down after the fact. Not in every case, as with my The Ring video. You can see that I went to the Ring facade cabin. If you go and watch my review of The Ring, and if you haven't seen that, at the end I go to the film locations. But that's just a rare instance where they don't tear down a facade that they build or a set that they build. But sometimes they should leave things up. I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't leave up. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it makes perfect sense they wouldn't leave up a Spawn Ranch recreation because all the stupid Manson followers, that people that still think he's cool, would just show up there and it would just all start over again. There are some Manson family members, original Manson family members, that are out of jail now. Most of them spent their life in jail, like Tex Watson, whose actual real name is Charles Watson. The guy that did probably the most of the main killing, he is still alive. Ugh, I hate having to say things like that. And hopefully that won't last much longer. Shortly after this Drunkentary drops, he'll probably drop himself. But as of now, Tex Watson is still alive. There's some other members of the Manson family, like, I don't know all their names because I can't do names, but Periwinkle, I think, was one. She recently got out. There's Frumpy, what's her name? Some other one that she's the one that tried to assassinate a president and somehow didn't get put in prison. Makes sense of that. But she is still out and even still admits to like loving Charles Manson. And my point being is that like Susan Atkins, she died of a brain tumor in like 2009. Tex Watson's going to be in prison forever. Other Manson family members have died or whatever. But the ones that have gotten out or were always out, I am a bit afraid that they're going to try to get the old gang back together. They don't have Charlie anymore, but they can just put up a fucking, shrine to Charlie and go back to their old ways. So it bothers me a little. They're old now. Hopefully they're too old to be going out terrorizing people. But it does concern me a little bit. Let's take a 5 minute here. Let me just breathe and we'll watch the movie together just for a few. Normally I'd be wrapping up right now. It's an hour and a half in, so normally I'd be wrapping up, but I need to just take a breather. So breathe with me. Let's take a drink and a breath. I need to take just a breather. What a hat. Isn't that Luke Perry with the weird hat? See, I don't know. It looks like him. Pardon my coughing and burpings. Alright, I'm going to chug down the rest of this Corona and then open another one. And like I said, take a few breaths here. So for during this scene, let's sort of watch old Rick perform. Getting another beer. Sound like the Three's Company. Getting another beer. Taking another drink. I need my little lime put in my beer. I was watching that the other day. Three's Company. It's not the best show ever, but it's alright for some entertainment once in a while. So I have that stupid theme song in my head. Come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, so settle down, you Jew. You just got to throw Jew in there, just to be safe. You said you were going to shut up, and now you're fucking singing. All right. Watching the scene. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it's so funny, the answer. They take a moment to laugh, and then he puts a gun back to her head. So is blowing the heads off little girls. What a line. I know it's a prop and everything, but I would still feel nervous having a gun stuck to my head like that. And they did multiple scenes for hours and hours, so it was like hours of having a gun pushed up to a little girl's head. It's Quentin Tarantino. I'm surprised he didn't have the gun to her feet. Like, I'll do it. I'll shoot her feet off. And everyone's like, no, God, no, anything but her feet. Because it's a Tarantino movie, you see. That's the most important thing to him, is feet. Shoot, I think Tarantino pays in feet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could pay him for something with your feet. If you're a female. uh, you needed something from Quentin. Be like, I'll look. All right, look, you can fuck my feet, okay? Just, just give me the role, please. That was retarded, but it's okay. It's okay. It happens in a Drunkentary. This is going to be the longest one I've ever done. I'm actually really hoping that this works. That this isn't too long of like a clip or a video or an audio. Hoping that QuickTime doesn't just crash out on me. It's time for another hit ski. Because I'm a pothead. And you're not. Or you might be. But not as big a pothead as me. I guarantee that. Guarantee. Alright. Here's to the weed gods. One more time. That's it. All right, we're good. It's so hot now because, let's see, it's 2:41 p.m. in the afternoon, so it's like the hottest time of day right now. That's what I get for living in Arizona. Even in winter, it's unbearably fucking hot. I'm going to have to do a little editing on this one. Okay. You know what? I'm proud of us. We're making it through this motherfucker. I don't give a shit. We're all making it. All 13 of us. Me and my 12 fat sweaty guys that like to still like me. And don't think I'm a racist Nazi bigot. Because the TV told them. Okay. Every once in a while you just gotta drop that little political shit. But not a lot. Just a little bit. And the point being, the only reason I bring it up is because by now I surely have weeded out a lot of people. And what's left are the real deals. You guys, whoever is listening to this right now, you are the real deal. Okay, I want you to take a look at this area, right? Look at the deserty, shitty, dirty, scrubby, crappy place this is. This is in California, as I said, just 2 miles up the road from where the original Spawn Ranch was. But it looks exactly like where I live. Because I'm still in the desert of the Southwest. So that just looks like I walk outside and it would look just like that. I might as well live on Spawn Ranch. It looks like where I live. Look at how she's pulling him. He doesn't really want to go up there. She has to pull him. He's not certain about what happened with his old movie set. All right, so here's where we're going to have to drop into. Well, I know people have a problem with like conspiracy theories sometimes and shit. People just get flipped out about considering the idea that someone might conspire. or there might be a conspiracy bigger than they can comprehend, and that's very scary. And so it's like, let's just keep our heads in the sand and not even think about it or consider it. But listen, conspiracies happen, and whether you want to believe it or not, you do your research into the Manson family killings, and you're going to find plenty of plot holes in the official story and stuff that doesn't add up. So let's talk about it. Since we're here now, let's do it. Let's talk about, for instance, how it was all a movie. Everything was just a big movie, and it was even set in Hollywood, right? In Hollywood, and then on a actual movie set. So the Spawn Ranch was where they used to film westerns. So they filmed their Manson family movie on a movie set, aka Spawn Ranch, and everyone had their own fake character name. Nobody went by their real name. Like I had said earlier, I said Tex Watson is actually, his real name was Charles. They already had a Charles, and everybody changed their name anyway, except for Charles Manson. Everybody used a fake name, as if they were actors acting in a movie, literally on a movie set. And then what did they do? They attacked a movie-making town. They attacked an actress and entertainers. Every single thing about the Manson family killings was a movie. We were all just watching a movie. A movie that apparently it is coming out was kind of started by the CIA. And you know what? It's not the first time they've done such a thing. The CIA was behind the movie The Interview, and that whole, oh no, North Korea is going to nuke us if this movie gets released bullshit. Again, I know, you rolling your eyes going, you're crazy. Do the research and you'll fucking find it's true. But that's off topic. That was just an example to prove my point. I will explain a little bit later, because I'm going to wait till closer towards maybe a little later to drop my big conspiracy theory bombshell about why I think this all happened. It's out there, and it's hard to wrap the mind around, especially if you're a skeptic, because skeptics just naturally want to believe everything's normal in the world and no one's out to try to get them, or to control them, or to influence them. I wish we lived in that world where that didn't exist. I actually get angry about it all the time, that I don't live in just a normal world where I don't have to worry about a shadow group of people that are trying to control things. But it's just a fact. And they infiltrate, and they're like, they get into everything so that they can control stuff, and that's how they get control, like the media, and control perceptions. But like I said, we're gonna unroll my big conspiracy later on, a little bit later in the movie. Right now, I'm just kind of laying the foundation that the Manson family killings were like just a movie that was played out for the American public to watch. We'll get there. See, I'm not trying to keep you. I guess I am trying to keep you from leaving too soon. I'm not trying to like bait you and like, oh, I'm gonna make him stay to the end because I'm gonna not drop this info. It's really, I just don't want you to leave too soon. That girl right there on the far right is Kevin Smith's daughter. That's Harley Quinn Smith right there on the far right. I don't know if you care, but now you know. You may not have cared, but now you know. Anyway, this whole scene was brilliantly written and directed. And it's an interesting thing, because when you're the director, and we're going to talk about movie making here, we're going to step aside from the conspiracy stuff for just a second, talk about movie making for a second. The director has complete control over what the audience thinks and believes and thinks where the story is going. And so, you play your cards right, you do a thing like this, and you got the audience absolutely convinced that he's about to go in there and find a dead body, and that's not what happens. But that's the director's job, is to control the viewer's perception. And any good movie and any good director does it very, very well. It's the old sleight of hand thing, right? You're looking at what the left hand's doing and not paying attention to the right kind of deal. That's the kind of directing. And I love that kind of thing. Anytime it's done right. Sometimes it's not done right. Sometimes it's sloppy. But Quentin's the guy that's gonna do it right. Yeah, creepy. Everything right here is creepy, creepy, creepy. Building up that tension. You know, I am a person that does not like long movies. I don't even like long songs. I do not like long movies for the most part. I can sit through Avatar because I like that world, but I otherwise am like passing on 3 hour movies. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like keeps refreshing itself in how it keeps me interested and invested. Every new scene, something about it clicks and gets me, just pulls me in. And this one being no exception, where you're really like, okay, now it's coming to a head. What's going to happen between Cliff Booth and the motherfucking Manson family, you know? He's on their territory. He's surrounded by them. Motherfucker is literally in danger. He could have disappeared easily. Other people did in real life, you know what I'm saying? If they wanted him to disappear, he could have. So yeah, knowing that, this scene is full of tension. Alright, gotta start chugging down this here Corona. Get more drunk so I can say more ridiculous fucking shit. And by the time I drop my big conspiracy bomb on you, I'll just sound like a drunken asshole and you won't take me all seriously and unfriend me. Hopefully. People can't handle the truth. Jack Nicholson was right. Jack was right the whole time. They can't handle the truth. They really can't. Oh my god, her feet are gross. I wanted to throw up just now. I almost threw up. Alright, let me drink my beer. Why is he watching the little TV on top? Alright. Alright, I got distracted. I'm drinking my beer. Oh, yeah. So, the role of George Spahn in this movie was meant to be played by Chuck Norris. Sorry, that's not right. Burt Reynolds was supposed to play George Spahn, but I stumble over all these names. Dude, I'm normally not this. I mean, I'm bad with names, but my God, it's something about hitting record. He died right before the movie went into production. So they had to get Donald, what's his name? Mr. Body Snatchers himself, I think, right? Donald Sutherland, I believe. And I love Donald Sutherland, so that's great. But it is a little bit of a shame we didn't get to see Burt Reynolds. What did she points with her fucking foot? That's a Tarantino thing for sure. He's like, it's been about 36 seconds since my last foot shot. You better point with your fucking toes. I bet that place stinks. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of BO. Some people are. Luckily, most people aren't. But some people think it's okay and don't see a problem with walking around smelling like shit and make you want to gag and not want to be around them. Maybe that's what the whole deal is. They don't want anyone to be around them. So, like, if I smell like shit, no one will be around me. Sorry, but BO's just disgusting. Oh, it's disgusting. And like just a house full of sicko, dirty, unwashed hippies in a dirty house with like food rotting and garbage rotting. Oh my god. No wonder they demolished this place. They're like, it's too gross. Hippies were in here. Let's just mow it down and forget about it. George, wake up. It's time for your daily blowjob from Squeaky. Do you think Manson family girls have any problem blowing an old guy, or is that just par for the course for them? That's just an everyday occurrence for the Manson family. Kill a person, steal some cars, and then blow George Spawn. I don't know. I guess. I don't know, man. I would hope it's a problem. But whatever. I mean, I don't want to be mean. I think about these things. I don't want to be mean to old people. But sorry, old ladies, I wouldn't give you head because you're old. So I think about how young women are willing to fuck gross old guys for money and opportunities and shit. And I don't think I could do it going the other direction. I couldn't fuck old ladies for nothing, for no amount of money. Oh, I mean, I could throw up all over a wrinkled old pussy. That's probably what will happen. You didn't need that image, and I'm sorry that it came down to this. So let's think about something else now, like flowers and rainbows. Remember? Let's think about like anything else. Normally, I would be wrapping up right now. It's so funny that we still got an hour. We got one more hour, guys. We can do this. I've made it this far. I'm not fucking giving up now. Hells no. I'm just going to get drunker, tell you that much. Right now. Getting drunk. Right now. Oh my God, I just gleeked on myself. And I don't know how to do that on purpose. Sometimes I'm talking or something and I just gleek. And I don't know how it happens. And if that's like an old term, it's not something that's kept up and you don't know what I'm saying. Gleek means it's a weird thing where like you lift your tongue and your saliva like just shoots out. Some people can do it on purpose, and I can't. It just happens sometimes. So if I'm ever close to you and talking, just beware. You might need to dodge me like Neo dodges bullets at some point. Just be on your toes. That's all I'm saying. It can happen at any time. I'm not trying to hit you. I swear to God. I'm not trying to gleek all over your face. I just can't help it. Now, I kind of want to be Cliff Booth for Halloween one year. And it would be quite a pretty easy costume. Just have a... Sorry, burping. Just need a shirt. God damn it. Need a white shirt. And that weird shirt. It almost looks like a Hawaiian shirt, but I guess it's not Hawaiian. It's like a car design. She has nice legs. Let me just say. We like pussy, like that girl said earlier. And her legs. Cliff, I know you're a badass, but get the fuck out of there. You're outnumbered. These people will kill you. Sure, it's mostly females, but they will, beat you with their bushes. I don't know. Beat you with their titties, make you smell their armpits, and then you'll pass out. And when you wake up, you see nothing but bush. It's just this. It's 1969, Things were still pretty hairy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I can tell you from experience. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, so I can tell you that that's when that started to become a concern, but it didn't become like crotch grooming didn't really become mainstream thing until the 90s it started to become, but in the 80s and before that it was nothing but bush for as far as the eye could see. Girl takes her clothes off and it's all you can see is bush. Like, where'd she go? She's behind that bush. Oh my god, she is that bush. And then you get out like the lawnmower, but the clippers, so you could clip her and then go down on her. Oh my lord. But look, it's a thing that needs to be talked about, right? It's just, and it's normal. It's obviously there was a time in human history where you didn't worry about grooming your fucking pubic hairs because you had to be concerned with surviving day to day. But once, technology advanced enough and society advanced enough, suddenly you can start worrying about your pubes. But it still took a couple decades before it like got under control. So I'm telling you, I was there. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. In the 80s, bush was still a thing. Sure, by the late 80s, they were starting to get the idea. The conversation was going around. Maybe I should trim. But, yeah. Yeah. It's just what it was. And, I am not somebody I don't like shaved. I don't like bald pussy myself. Because I don't like little girls. I like women. So I like, when they have hair, but it's got to be under control. It can't just be a wild fucking bush, I can't feel like I've found myself in Brazil, like in the jungles of Brazil. You know what I mean? I don't mean to go Brazilian, just, but don't go full Brazil either. So don't go Brazilian or Brazil. Just trim it, man. Just trim it. That's all I ask. That's all anyone asks. But there's plenty of dudes that just gotta have a shaved pussy. They just have to. They've decided that. They also probably park backwards for no reason. I feel like that's the kind of same thing. That kind of person that likes a shaved pussy is probably the kind of guy that takes 15 minutes to park his truck backwards. And now you're all triggered because you're the one I'm talking about. Sorry. I called you out. I love calling somebody out on every fucking Drunkentary. At least one group of assholes. Or not even have to be assholes. Just call somebody out. Sometimes it's myself. Sometimes it's somebody else. This time it's the backwards parking bald pussy lovers that I'm calling out. Okay, wow. It's a Drunkentary now. Look at this. See what I'm looking at right now on screen? That just looks like my yard. I go outside and that's just what I see is desert and dirt and shrubs and cactus and like beat up old cars and buildings. This looks just like where I live. I might as well live on Spawn fucking Ranch. I can't believe we're getting there. We're getting there. Woo! We are getting there. 2 hours. I'm going to celebrate here by having another drink and a hit. I don't give a fuck anymore. That's a cool looking old barn. Oh, okay. Here we go. Gonna drink. Alright. Time for a hit ski. Even though, hold on, I might need to load her up. Nope, it's still good to go. Alright. That's what I like to hear, man. This is a cover. I think it's a cover. Is this a cover or is the other song a cover? Now I'm confused. I just blew my own mind. I just assumed this was always a cover of Winter's Day, but I don't know who did it first now. But my point being, it's okay. I think I prefer the other one. Yeah, I prefer the other one. The more commonly known Winter's Day song. This is okay, though. It's nice to hear a different version of a song you've heard, a normal, another version of so many times. It's nice to hear something different. But now I really am interested. I don't even know if this is the original? Yeah, I'll have to look it up later. This is so cute, right? What a cute little moment. I'm sorry, but it is. Look at his smile where Rick's like, you want to come in and watch the thing I made? As a YouTuber, I can totally understand wanting someone to hang out with you and watch your thing, So it feels like you didn't waste your time. Somebody's watching it at least. And he has a little smile. He's like, "Yay, my best friend's gonna watch my thing with me." So cute. Oh yeah, I was gonna hit this weed. Here we go. Oh, we've got a meme coming up here. Here, let me do the snap and point. You know the meme. I'm snapping and pointing right now. I've done acid, but I don't think I've ever smoked an acid dip cigarette. In fact, the only thing I ever heard about back in the day was that I've heard like dip a cigarette in formaldehyde and smoke that. It's supposed to do something for you. I've done a lot of bullshit, and I have not done that. I have done a lot of bullshit. Some stuff that could have been bad, really bad for me. I didn't do heroin or crack, just put that out there. Everything else, though, except for heroin, crack, and formaldehyde, I've done. I didn't do bath salts, I guess. That came after my time. Like, whatever bath salts even is, if that's even a thing, I haven't done that. I don't think. Must have been a skunk. Must have been a skunk. Why else would it smell like this in here right now? Surely it's not me. Can you hear all that traffic outside? I'm not sure if you can. I'm sure it's not a big deal. I'm just going to roll with it. It'll maybe give it... Pardon me. Pardon me. Maybe it'll give the Drunkentary a little bit of ambiance. Sort of hearing some outside noises. Hey, at least I don't think there's been a siren. Right? Maybe I wasn't paying attention. It kind of goes by a lot. Sometimes I might miss it. But yeah, I don't think there's been a siren. So there's that. Oh, I'm very high off that hit. I still can't wait to go out and have a proper bong hit, though. As soon as this motherfucker's over, you best believe I'm out there hitting that bong like I would hit my wife if I had one. How many times can I reference domestic abuse? Let's see, that's probably 5. Let's go for 7. I like to laugh at fucked up things. That doesn't mean I'm a fucked up person. That means I'm normal. That means I'm normal. Because I laugh because I know it's fucked up. A really fucked up person wouldn't laugh. He'd just go, yeah, of course I beat my wife. Of course I do. What do you mean? Where's the joke? I don't get it. So see, I've just defended myself successfully. Also, I have no wife or spouse at all. Or even a friend. I don't even have an imaginary friend anymore. They won't even talk to me. It's jacked up. Anyhow, it's going to become sad now. I don't have nobody. I always think it's interesting, like, filming planes. That means there's another plane flying by the plane to film the plane. And they had to organize and coordinate that. All the way up 40,000 feet from down on the ground. They're like, okay, when we're up there, make sure you're doing this speed so that we can catch it and keep up with you and film you. It's just an interesting thought. You got to film a plane with another plane. And sometimes you're filming multiple planes with another plane. It's a lot of planes. Somebody has to organize all that shit. And here we got Mr. Pacino making another little... It's almost like a cameo. At this, it's 2 hours later, and you've forgotten that he was at the beginning of the movie. So seeing him again for like a scene is like a cameo. Isn't that weird? That you can be in a movie, and then one of your scenes still feels like it's just a cameo. I would imagine Tarantino actually filmed this with 8mm film and an 8mm camera. Knowing him. And props to him for doing it right. We're getting there, guys. Look at this. We got Kirk Douglas doing basically the setup for the climax right now, giving us the old some exposition in the setup. Again, this is another thing I want to talk about. Um, I think this is a brilliant movie. I think it's just about perfect. When I do mention like there's two strange cuts in the movie. One was a jump cut, right? That's okay, but like, oh, I'm really high. But the other thing that I think is weird, like, okay, so brilliant director resorted to a jump cut. That's all right, I guess. But it's also weird that in the beginning there's a narrator for like 2 seconds, and then you don't hear the narrator again until the end of the movie. So again, only like somebody with talent can pull off something like that. Usually, you either have a narrator or you don't. You don't have one part time. Sometimes, but rarely. So it's again another thing to introduce something at the beginning, not bring it back again until the end, but for it to not feel awkward. That's just talent. Because otherwise, if I tried to do that, it would come off as awkward. And people will be going, "What are you doing, man? Either use a narrator or don't." Either put Al Pacino in your movie or don't. It's like he doesn't give a fuck. Tarantino don't give a fuck if Pacino is only in a cameo. You can tell I'm drunk and high now, huh? So can I, and I gotta pee, but I'm gonna make it. Maybe. Or I'll run out real quick and fucking piss like the wind. Not in the wind, because that doesn't turn out well. You have to have a shower after that. But I'll piss like the wind and then run back real quick. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to hold it as long as I can, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm drinking this Corona, smoking this weed, watching this movie, hanging out with you. I you know what? Actually, there's going to be another movie with Cliff Booth. I was about to say I want there to be a sequel with these guys, but there isn't going to be exactly a sequel. With apparently, and not Tarantino's directing it. Somebody else is directing it, but there's going to be another movie with Cliff Booth. I hope that Rick Dalton makes a cameo appearance at least. But yeah, I would love to see a sequel to this. I don't know how you would do it. I don't give a shit. I don't even care how you would do it. I know that there's this particular movie significant because of the historical rewriting. You can rewrite another historical thing with these guys. I would love that. In fact, you could keep doing that with Cliff and Rick. I would be totally down. These guys could rewrite all of history, and I would watch every one of those movies. Please do. Please, please, please do. I do want to say, though, that you know how Tarantino said he's just going to make 10 movies and then quit directing, and that we're waiting on that last movie. On one hand, I was really, 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 really hoping it would be Kill Bill 3, but it was announced that he was going to direct a movie called The Critic, set in the 70s about a movie critic. No, it was going to be called The Movie Critic, and it was about a movie critic in the 70s, and I was actually psyched. I was psyched, and then it got canceled. So, I'm not psyched anymore, and we're still waiting on whatever his last movie is going to be. Maybe this should be his last movie, since it is a masterpiece, by my opinion, and many people's opinion. I would say the people that don't like this are definitely in the minority. But as it is with any minority, they try to be very vocal. They want to be heard that they think this movie sucks. They don't like how Sharon and Bruce was portrayed. And it's not full of just violence and cursing like a regular Tarantino movie. But you know what? Fuck you, minority of haters. Suck on a taint. and lick a crack. 'Cause I don't care what you think. As a matter of fact, look at that car. I want it. Look at how pregnant she is with nothing, no fat on the face. Just like Sharon actually wound up looking. Still beautiful even when she was pregnant. She didn't gain any face weight. Good God, there goes a Harley. Can you hear all that shit? I'm so sorry. It must be annoying. I really apologize, but I couldn't do it any other way. Because I would have passed out, about 25 minutes ago in a pool of sweat if I had the windows closed. I would just be laying here passed out in a pool of sweat, and it would just be silence. Except for the traffic. Alright, we're getting our recap. Pay attention. These things are all facts up until a certain point. These people were with Sharon when she was killed. And they were murdered with her, unfortunately. Rest in peace to all of them. I'm sure none of them deserved what happened. Yeah, we're getting into the end here, guys, finally. And, about 30 minutes ago. I might have to take that piss right now. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to run and then run back. Okay? You get a few minutes of quiet. Enjoy it. Alright. I'll be fast as I can. I'm back. I would have been quicker, but I actually went looking for more beer, which is just not there. There's no more beer. So, gotta really enjoy this last few sips I got during the climax of the movie here. So now what? Shall I drop my conspiracy bomb yet, or let's see, how far do we got? Is it time, or do I do it at all? I guess I've built it up. I'll have to say something now. Man, alright. I wish there was one more beer, but it's okay. We'll be okay. I got plenty of weed to smoke after this. Alright, I'm going to chug a little bit. So far, this is all accurate. This is how it went down. There is some people want to say, did they really go to the Coyote Joe's or Coyote restaurant? Some people don't know. Some people agree. I think they did. They were out of the house, I believe. You know, some interesting things that don't really get mentioned. First of all, rest in peace to Stephen Parent. He's also somebody that died that night. He happened to be on the property. He was visiting the person that lived in the guest house, the caretaker who lived in the guest house, which was just some young guy, like maybe some 19, 20-year-old guy. and Stephen Parent was there visiting, who happened to be leaving right as the Manson family showed up and they shot and killed him. So rest in peace to him. He's not mentioned in this movie, and he doesn't always get a lot of recognition, but he should. But it is interesting. Also, another thing that is confusing is that there was somebody in the guest house, right? As I just mentioned, while shots were being fired, while people were screaming for their life, and he supposedly didn't hear anything. Yeah. Again, another strange thing, just full of strange things that don't add up. Why didn't he get killed? Why was he spared? They didn't know he was there. How come he didn't hear anything? Or did he hear something and chose to ignore it? He didn't hear Stephen Parent get shot right outside of his house. I mean, right outside. Right outside. After he just left. So there's no way that... I'm sorry, I don't remember the caretaker's name, but there's no way he was all of a sudden passed out and didn't hear Stephen Parent get shot right outside. It doesn't add up. So many things don't add up. Of course, right about here is where Tarantino's factual starts to deviate from reality. Because Rick Dalton's not a real character. Not a real person. We wish he was. All right, since we're here, we're reaching the climax that's about to get crazy. I might as well go ahead and let you know what I think the the true truth behind the Manson family cult and the murders is. So let's refresh everything that I said, though. One, that it was all a movie. They lived on a movie set, gave each other fake movie names, lived in Hollywood, and attacked celebrities, actors, and entertainers. Everything about it was a movie. But why would it be a movie, though? Why would it all be set up to be a movie? In Hollywood, of all places. So you heard about maybe a little documentary. I think it's called Room 237, and it's about how Stanley Kubrick allegedly directed the moon landings, right? Oh, we got a plane going overhead. So, guess what happened right after the moon landings? The Manson family killings. In fact, it was the very last thing that Sharon Tate did with her family before she was murdered, was watch the moon landing. Um, I'm somebody that believes the moon landing was fake. I don't necessarily think that the documentary is all truth. I have not gone through it with a fine-tooth comb to let you know whether what's real or what's not. But I don't personally believe the moon landing was real. A lot of people don't, and some people do, and some people don't, and that's just the way it is. And you just choose your side based on however you feel and your evidence and that you have and whatever you believe. But a lot of people, it's not just me, quite a few people do not believe the moon landing was a real event. So, if Hollywood was involved in faking something so huge, how do you scare them into silence about not speaking about it? What happened right after the moon landings and took up more news coverage than the moon landings? It's the Manson family murders happened in Hollywood to scare Hollywood into silence over their cooperation with this huge conspiracy. And all right, this is it. This is the bomb. This is really what I believe. And it sounds insane. It may or may not be proven to be true. But I think it is. And I think the CIA was involved. They recruited Charles Manson. They trained him how to brainwash people. After they brainwashed him, they had it all set up to be just like a movie that everyone was watching, including actors with fake names, a movie set, and everything. Set in Hollywood. It was filmed in Hollywood. It was all a big fucking movie, just like the moon landings. But this was one that had some consequences that scared Hollywood into keeping its fucking mouth shut. That's the big one. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. And there's a part of you that's even a little bit going, maybe he's right. That sounds a little right. There was more going on than that. For instance, other people talk about conspiracies involving Sharon Tate and Jim Morrison. How one was the example for the female of being the big Hollywood princess, and the other was the example of the male being the big rock star. And they both were ended early. Those ideals, those dreams of don't ever dream of being that. It was ended early for both of them. That I guess some people present that as another conspiracy to affect like the spirit of people, of Americans in general. I guess I don't fully understand that one, but it sort of makes a little sense, you know. And again, you go back to that Sharon admitted her life just happened to her. She didn't choose these things. It was like it was all chosen for her, and the fact that she was crowned Miss Richland 10 years to the day before it happened, I believe that was the night she was chosen. And she was chosen probably because she was so pure. Such a pure light. Of course you would want to, if you were a satanic kind of cult or a dark cult or just shitty, evil people, you might want to extinguish lights in the world, right? There's one. They got rid of her. And they sort of killed the dream, right, a little bit for females of becoming a Hollywood princess, and then they killed the dream for males to possibly become a rock star or whatever. I don't know. That stuff that I'm talking about right there at the end is just me throwing out actual theory where I'm theorizing. I don't know, maybe, but the moon landing stuff, I really believe. And then you can think I'm as crazy as you want. You can think it, and it's probably going to turn out to be true. It's a matter of time before all the things I get called crazy for just ultimately turn out to be proven true. Just usually a matter of time. But anyway, now that I've done that, I've presented that. You can think I'm crazy. It's great. It's an interesting theory nonetheless, right? Oh yeah, the other thing I just wanted to throw out there real quick, mention is, is how did such a big thing like an alleged moon landing, what seems to be an impossible task, was somehow completed with like a rickety little space vehicle that looks like it was made out of tinfoil and shower curtain rods. Somehow that got to the moon and back. That sounds like something you would never stop talking about. But there was like one article about the big moon landing, and then the entire rest of the time was taken up by, oh, the Manson family, the Manson trial, the Manson family for like a decade. The moon landing got swept under the rug, and all they talked about was the Manson family. How the hell did something like the moon landing, you'd think if it wasn't a conspiracy, you would think they would want to always be bringing it up, always be talking about it, make tons of articles. But no, everything became about the Manson family. The moon landing for like a week, and then Manson family for a decade. Anyway, I could just be a crazy guy. What's new? It doesn't matter now. I have no fucking friends anymore anyway. So if I'm just a crazy guy, whatever. I'm just a harmless crazy guy. But there you go. There you have it. I really truly believe that's what it all was. It was just a big warning. It was a movie, but it was a movie with a warning. Alright. There it is. Let's move on. Let's make fun of what's left of this while we can. Oh, if there's anyone left listening. First of all, it's so long to listen this long, and then once you hear, oh my god, he thinks that it was the moon landings, then now everybody's out. Everyone's out. Motherfucker. Damn it. And there's going to be there's going to be at least, I'm sorry, but one angry guy typing about, it's real, the moon landing was real, NASA is real, space is real, and here's all my evidence. And it's going to be like a really long comment, like longer than anyone would ever read. That's going to happen. Because they can't handle that somebody just doesn't believe what they believe. They can't handle it. Alright, I'm going to finish this Corona. And, yeah, then we're going to finish up this movie. I can't believe we made it, everybody. We fucking did it. You know what? Give yourselves a pat on the back. If you made it this far, a pat on the back. You should give yourself a pat on the ass if you made it this far. Why not? Grow up your ass a little bit. You've earned it. All right, here we go. Yeah. I wish I was on some cigarette dipped acid right now. No, I don't want the cigarette part. That'd make me throw up. Ugh. I'll take the acid though. I'll take shrooms over acid. Last time I had shrooms was November 1st because I made mushroom tea for Halloween and it didn't work. So the next day I just ate some and it worked. And I got really fucked up. Anyway, that's the last time I had shrooms. I don't remember the last time I had acid. That's shit. It's like fucking decade ago. Look at there was like real products, Hillsbros and all this other real products. Is Wolf Tooth a real product? Now I gotta know. Rick Dalton's got a nice house. I like the lighting. Look at how dark and it's like kept all chill and it's not all bright and shitty. He's got a nice house, nice lighting. I like his little pool in the back too. Oh my god, there's a lot of traffic. Everybody must be getting off work right now. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We did it. Squeeze your ass. We did it. I can't believe we did it. And I'm about to go hit the bong so hard. You're going to hear me coughing for days. I got this soundtrack too. I listened to it. But also I just listened to KHJ from the 60s. And a few from the 70s. Like I said earlier, I like to listen to old radio broadcasts. Sometimes I listen to Kiss FM from the 80s or KHJ from the 60s. Listen to old radio, it's great. Also, you get to hear like sometimes you'll hear you want to search for it's called unscoped radio. And that means that they've kept the commercials in. They didn't cut anything out. Everything was how it was broadcast. So you get to listen to old commercials, and sometimes you'll hear like an old movie promo. Like I think the other day I was listening to Kiss FM from the 80s, and there was a promo on their radio for Aliens, and it was awesome. You get to hear old stuff like that. It's great. And then you'll understand why I always say old is gold. I truly believe older things were almost always better because profit motive gets in the way and they start cutting corners and the quality of products go down. The size of food products shrinks and becomes more and more GMO. It's true. Older things are better. Old is gold. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. That's why I said those old cars, they were actually made out of steel back then. They may have looked ugly, but they were hardcore. All right, here we are. Cliff Booth versus the Manson family. So, with the Manson family, how it actually went down is they walked up Cielo Drive. They went to go kill who was in the house, but they thought somebody else still lived there. So they wound up killing people that were not even their targets, really. But they did cut the phone line and then crawled over the fence, and that's when Stephen Parent was leaving the property, and they shot and killed him. Then they snuck into the house there was a window open in the back. So everybody just, I know it gets hot sometimes at night, but, think about it. Do you need your window open or do you need the Manson family to come kill you? Make your choice. But that's how they got in, and they just used a knife to get everyone, just like this scene right here, to get everyone into the same room. Tex Watson had a gun. They started to put a rope around Sharon. I don't know if they were going to try to hang her, but they wound up just stabbing her. And then Jay tried to stop them. He got shot in the face. Uh, the girl that's the other girl, she ran around the house outside. She got outside, ran around the house, but there was nowhere for her to go. Ultimately, she got tracked down and stabbed with like 100 times. And the other guy, the foreign man, he tried to get out the front door and got stabbed in front of the front door, and he died there. Then they wrote "pig" in Sharon's blood on the front door and left. Nobody discovered the bodies until the morning when a cleaner or a maid came. I will also throw this out there. I think it's a weird quote-unquote coincidence that the famous Beatles cover Abbey Road, that picture was taken literally just hours after Sharon and her friends were murdered by the Manson family. Because it was daytime in England, but nighttime in the United States. The picture was taken just hours after they were killed. And what was ultimately the excuse that was used, which I still think is probably bullshit, but the Beatles' White Album was used as the excuse for why Charles Manson did what he did. What are the odds that the Beatles take their most famous album cover picture, at the same time that these sacrifices were still laying dead and bloody in their house, undiscovered yet? Maybe the blood's still warm even. Anyway, just throwing that out there. We got this craziest fucking climax to this otherwise chill movie. It was just another thing I love about the movie. It saves all of its violence for the end, and then it gets so violent. It is so violent. And I love it. When he smashes that girl's fucking face like 1,000 times, it's insane. And it's funny, like, Tex Watson really did show. I'm sorry, some people are gonna. I guess the woke might be upset that Tex showed up with girls to kill people instead of, you know what I mean, like a bunch of girls. And now somebody's gonna defend them. Well, girls can be killers too. Don't be a sexist. Okay, you're right. Okay, you got me there. Females can be psychos too. You got me. Oh my god, this is the best. Oh my lord. It's so visceral. Just won't stop smashing her face. Oh my god. And he finally looks at it like, oh yeah, there's not even a human anymore. I can't even recognize her. I guess I'm done with that one. Let's take out this screaming bitch. Oh, he passed out because of the acid and the blood loss. Somebody shut her up. Shut that bitch up. You know what I love about this? Rick Dalton, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't know what's going on. He does not know what's going on. He had headphones on. He doesn't know anything that's going on. All he knows is a crazy girl with a gun showed up. So he's like, all right, I'm getting my flamethrower. Flamethrower time. I don't need to know anything else. He's like, I don't need to have context. I don't need to know any kind of information about who this is or what's going on. All I need to know is that I'm flamethrowing this bitch. Until she's toasted. Well done. The kind of like overly cooked steak you have to send back and get another one. And give him a bad Yelp review. That kind of burnt. I love it. All he knows is, I gotta burn this bitch. Look at him walk out. All confident too. He's not rushing. You know what? Look at that. He's not like in a hurry. He walked out all slow and easy. This is the best. Burn, baby, burn. Fuck the Manson family. They're not cool. They're idiots. They fucking wound up getting caught because they went way out in the desert to try to hide out, and then they kept being assholes and giving everyone a hard time, so that's how they got caught. Because people called the police on them, even though they were way out in the middle of the desert nowhere. They were still such assholes that people had to call the cops on them. And that's how they wound up ultimately getting caught and connected to the murders. Look at how black she is. Jesus, I told you, crispy, extra crispy. I like my Manson family like I like my coffee. Black? Because they've been flame throwed to death? I don't know. You get the joke. You finished the joke for me. It's fine. I can't believe we did it. We did it. Me and one other guy that's still listening. We did it. Me and you guy. High five, man. High five. And I shared a bunch of info. I didn't even really go off as much as I thought I would. I thought I would. There was even some things I held back. I didn't tell you guys some stuff because it's like it gets like, you think the moon landing stuff was crazy. It gets crazier. You start doing your research into the Manson family and you'll see what I'm saying. You'll know what I'm saying. Everything is always crazy. There's like weird coincidences and stuff I just didn't remember or just didn't have enough time to bring up. But do your own research and you'll see. But I would just like to end it on fuck the Manson family. Wish they didn't kill anybody. You know? But can't change history. Can't change it. So I guess Quentin tried to. He did his best. And I would absolutely watch more adventures with these two. Please, I would love to see them like foiling other like real life tragedies. If only. But we got this one movie, so that's good to go. That's good enough. I have like this grin on my face right now. I can't believe I made it. I really wasn't sure. This is twice as long as a Drunkentary normally is. So, but we did. We done did it. Done did it. Also, did you know Charles Manson had like a life before he was a crazy cult guy? He had like a wife and maybe did he have children? I know he had a wife. He had like a suburban life at one point where he was like quote unquote a normal guy for maybe a couple years because he spent his youth like in orphanages and juvenile detention centers and then he spent his adult life in fucking prisons and jails. So he didn't have a lot of outside life, but when he did, apparently he had a short suburban life before he became Charles Manson, the shitty cult leader. This here is bittersweet. This is the bittersweet ending of in this reality they get to live and you just want it so bad. You want it to be so bad. Like I said, Sharon could still be with us. Like she'd be 84 or something by now, but people live to be 100. She could still be with us. Jay Sebring could still be with us, you know. But otherwise, rest in peace to everybody. No, I'm sorry to get all sentimental, Bill, but like I said, I actually have a lot of affection for Sharon, my Sharona. So it's sad when we get to this part. It's sad. This is the best. When he says, shit, I torched the last one. I love it. Burn her to a crisp. Why does he have a flamethrower? Who would like what kind of movie studio would be like, oh yeah, go ahead, just keep the flamethrower, no problem. Yeah, keep the flamethrower. Keep it in your shed. You never know when you're gonna need it. But you know what? That's a conceit. That's one of those things you just it's fine. And it's hilarious. Like I said, the way he walks out, so confident with that motherfucker strapped on. It's flaming and ready to go. He is ready to burn some Manson family bitches. Barbecue. Oh, we made it to the end. Nobody's gonna watch this shit. But it's okay. I finally got to do it. I've been thinking about doing this for years. I've wanted to do, like when I did the Dazed and Confused one, and I said maybe in the future I'll do other non-horror Drunkentaries. This is what I was thinking of. He gives him the thumbs up. Fuck yeah, Rick. You're Rick motherfucking Dalton. And it's a fun way to end the movie, right? Because you watch this guy in his little arc and a sad little situation of becoming a has-been, and you really hope that this is his turnaround where he gets to get like a second wind and be famous again. Like, you know how John Travolta did that shit. Every time John Travolta like dropped off the map, he would always find a way to make a comeback somehow. So you're hoping for Rick Dalton's comeback, you know? That's why we need a sequel. God damn it, we need a sequel. I want it. Quentin, make it your 10th last movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again. Or something. Name it something like that. There goes more Harleys. Jeez Louise. That's what I get to listen to all day, everybody. I don't know what else to say. We've come to the end. It was quite a journey, and I'm glad anybody that made it through with me, you're a fucking hero. But this is it. I'm not going to talk through a bunch of credits. Said what I said. I had a good time, and I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you consider the crazy shit that I said and don't immediately run to block me or unfriend me just because I said something that sounds insane. And catch you on the next one. Peace out.